Okay, boys and girls, we have returned and we are back in with the next match. So we shall be underway any second. Mr. Dogbert, you have also returned and we shall be bringing you ESC ICY versus InFamouS. Hurrah!
Yeah, indeed. InFamouS recently been doing a really good job. Obviously, in the first cup of the spring season, they managed to beat ICY. So obviously, a very strong team. ESC ICY. They've been around for a long, long time in the BF scene, obviously. And man, they got 2-0'd by InFamouS last week, and it was pretty brutal as well. I just went through the scores before we started. And from then on out, InFamouS went to play against the other powerhouse French team, and that was Pyrogen. And they did lose 2-1, but they took it to a third game. They did take a map of Pyrogen, and very recently in a French Cup, they did beat Pyrogen. So these guys are definitely one team to watch out for. They are improving a lot right now, and definitely some danger, some upset in the future. But I must admit, ESC must be looking for some revenge for last week's performance, so no better way to do it than on this map. So I believe ICY ESC have picked Zafod. The other map after this will be, I think that is Langsham Dam, and that was picked by InFamouS, and then Shanghai will be our third map if it goes to it.
Quite an interesting combo, and surprising to see Zavod 311 back. We don't see it that often, do we, Dogbert?
Never. It's never a very played map. It's very rare indeed now. We get it almost every game. Yeah. And it would have been our final pick in our last one if it had gone to a third. So, yeah, it's just one of those ones that every team's really played so many times that everyone knows kind of what to do. So, real fears in banning it out.
It is becoming the Dust 2 of Battlefield 4.
Well, kind of, yeah. I wouldn't go as far as Dust 2. I mean, everyone plays Dust 2, but...
Oh, God, even I've played Dust 2.
Yeah. I mean, been playing a bit of CSGO matchmaking right now. And
oh, really?
You just end up with that map every game. So, yeah. I think Lockers is probably the closest, I'd say, for BF4 at the moment, at least. But,
that's fair.
Yeah, so these teams, I think, are very evenly matched. So I think we might actually end up playing on Shanghai, actually. So we'll have to wait and see, though. But revenge for last week is definitely the plan for ESC. And they've got a team which, to be honest, everyone in the BF scene should be quite familiar with being at right now. We've got Explo, Baden, Lagza, Doobie, and Jansen. And those guys have been playing for a while. And obviously, Chad, I think I'll let you go through the InFamouS lineup.
Right, well, for QPAD InFamouS, we have Kremer, Grimjow, Zuzu, Tony, and Zepp. So a nice combo of guys there, and we should be hopefully ready to go very soon. Now, obviously, I think they're getting ready to do the restart, and then we should be ready. So... oh, look at that. You're even doing admin talk. How impressive. So, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the next round. Or should I should say the next aspect of the competition. We're into the next bracket now. ESC ICY versus InFamouS. The first map will be Zavod 311, ladies and gentlemen. And obviously there are no difference in tickets. This is the first round of the first map. So this is basically all to play for, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see how the teams get on. We're going to see pretty much everything that we've seen with Zavod 311 on multiple occasions. Literally that run to B and the hold of C and massive gunfights around C.
Yeah, I mean, C becomes kind of the melting pot. But at the beginning, it's all about that B flag. So usually you see a three-man push from the Russian side, and the US side probably either another 3, sometimes even 4, but they got to be careful. Breaks onto that C and A can happen if they can get the pick in the middle of the map, and some teams even like to blow up in that C flag with a few rockets, and that does happen quite a lot actually. Some teams like to do it more than others, but it is pretty regular in most games these days. Something that didn't really happen in BF4 until maybe after Christmas, and then it pretty much just became that wall is going to get blown up, and it really does change the C flag dimensions quite a bit, you are starting to see a lot of people hiding out into the little tank hole as well, which tank turret, which beforehand, few people went for, but in most cases only for a holding action to try and survive as long as possible until reinforcements turn up.
Well, the problem is also with that particular area is that even though it gives you fantastic cover, it also restricts your mobility. So as a result of that, it means that you can't actually, if you, for whatever reason, you can fire at the enemy, but if you suddenly come under massive amounts of fire, your options for running away are not exactly very high. So, these are the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune that these guys have to suffer with. So it looks like the countdown is now going to begin, and we shall be underway very shortly. And there we go. They go for another round restart. So just to make sure. We're going to be swapping the teams around. That's basically the reason why they're going to be doing the round restart. They do the restart so that make sure that the team's on the right side so they start. And so when you do the next round, it means that they're actually in the right position. These are the trials and tribulations that server admins have to deal with. So anyway, let's get back into the game, ladies and gentlemen. ESC ICY versus InFamouS. And it's going to be an interesting battle. I'm looking forward to seeing how things are going to go here. I've pretty much seen every single time that you have the Russians move out from that top spawn, they tend to move out in a very sort of fan-shaped formation. The US team perhaps less so. They tend to sort of do a single file and maybe a 2-man over to B and a 3-man into C and possibly, then let one of those men disappear off up towards the A and harass it. But it's going to be interesting to see how things go. And hello to everybody in chat, I hope you are well. So, as you can see, there's the sort of fanish move, and there's another one over here as well. And there's a 3-2 split that we were talking about earlier, and another 3-2 split as well coming in from their opponents. And it's going to be a mass battle right out in the middle of the field. And this is going to be a nasty situation, because this is not really where you want to get caught, as it looks like they've lost a member. So it looks like QPAD InFamouS have taken the B point already, and they've also moved in and taken the A point. So a pretty important first run there as far as the InFamouS team are concerned, and Jansen getting taken down around the back of tanks, and looks like Doobie also being finished off as well. So a 3-man defense by InFamouS at the B point seems to have actually turned out quite well from Dogbert.
Yeah, but it's more down to ESC not really playing the standard B push. They looked for probably picking up a few more kills around the midpoint of the map, probably thinking that they get a kill there, they can move on to A quite quickly. They didn't get it, and now they're locked into C. You can see Doobie trying to make a pressure onto that B flag, but it's the spawns that are going to do it around B. Both teams here really want to focus on getting that B and C flag. Spawns above A are quite regular, so you're going to be seeing a lot of effort put into just securing these two flags. But once again, defenders on A, we're going to get Explo in there, and Doobie, and it looks like this is a slow push. InFamouS not really putting much pressure into any of this, and Jansen making a nuisance for himself up at A.
Yeah, and the trouble is now they're starting to threaten a domination cap, which is what Jansen has achieved. And I'm just wondering if InFamouS are actually being a little bit slow in their rotation because they've lost the B point, and they weren't very slow to actually move in towards that C point. And pretty much now it looks like Grimjo and Zepp are the only ones left standing right now. So it looks like he's going to have that point. You're going to have Zepp who's going to start pressuring the B point, going up against Baden. Baden gets taken down, but he's also got Doobie nearby to support him. And as a result of that, it looks like multiple members of ESC have been taken down. But this is an opportunity for InFamouS to move in towards the C point and maybe start to put some pressure onto there, and that's exactly what they're looking to do. As we're now looking at InFamouS Tony, he's taking a little bit of fire, getting caught on the infrastructure, and it looks like the C point is going to get taken. But you're going to have InFamouS Grimjow waiting in ambush for any members of ESC ICY making their way over. There we go, and it looks like flying through the air, and he comes in for a flying stab, unfortunately unsuccessful. But you've also got Jansen in the meantime, while his teammate was essentially tying up the members of QPAD InFamouS, he went in there and essentially captured the point from under their noses. Now, the problem is with that is it means now they've got an A and a B hold, and the tickets are pretty much even right now, Dogbert.
Yeah, very much so. Jansen once again seems to be making A his home, and you can see ESC already making push under the C flag. Baden here trying to do what he can to get round the back here. going to try to pick up 1 kill, get Zonda, and that'll be C going over for ESC. And you can see InFamouS aren't even going to try and contest that capture. They're going straight for B. But Doobie, sorry, up A. I just assumed it was Jansen. So easy a mistake to make considering how many times he's up at A. But there you go. This is how ESC are going to play this. You stop pressuring the flag, we're going to take that A. No defense on it at all. And if InFamouS don't move quick, this is a full domination cap, and it is. And man, they're getting wiped out in the middle of the map as well. This is not looking good for InFamouS.
It is not looking good for them, and the trouble is, I think part of the issue that they're having at the moment is their rotations are a little bit slow because they are not reacting quick enough to how ESC ICY are actually playing at the moment. So we're looking at Zepp at the moment. He is going to be making his way in. He comes under fire almost immediately, manages to take down Doobie with the AEK 971, so they're going to get that A point back. But this is going to be the difficult point because this is the B and the C hold that ESC ICY are actually going to like. They're going to feel comfortable in and maybe see if they can actually prosecute the enemy based on this. So we'll just have to wait and see what's going on as Jansen's going to be sniffing around looking for the opportunity. Now it's interesting to see one thing, I don't know if you've actually noticed, there is rubber banding. That's not good. As we're looking at Zepp, who's currently rubber banding like a mofo, and it looks like most of the guys going in, look at all the InFamouS guys, they are pretty much armed with AEK 971s across the board. I've never seen that before.
It's a hip-fire weapon of the pros. They like to use that, especially for that round. But, man, ESC really getting caught out on the C flag, and Explo's the only guy left, and he's going to have to go back to that B flag. One-on-one him with Tony. He needs to get this. He does. That's good for them. Spawn's coming in above A. But finally,
InFamouS have lost a man.
Traction on C. Not good for them, and it's going to be Zeb. I was clicking at him before. He seemed to be lagging slightly, so this is not good for InFamouS. But they are holding a two-man capture right now. They need some big plays on. They're just going to be completely overwhelmed at A, I feel.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen now, because you've obviously got Tony who's moving in as well, and he's going to be going up against probably 4 men of ESC ICY. That's not really the kind of result that you would like, as nades go in, Lagzer gets killed, and Tony gets finished off very quickly as well. Out comes the AEK, but another fire coming in, and more members of QPAD InFamouS are trying to move in, and you can see there more fire going in, and now Baden has been taken down, but you can see a rotation coming in from ESC ICY around the side of the A points, and there we go, nice reaction fire by him. That was Tony as well. He's managing to take that point. So we're looking at a situation where the A and the B is going to be held by InFamouS, and seeing if they can actually keep the members of ESC ICY out. But the trouble is they're down on numbers, and there's nobody there to defend the C dog bit.
Yeah, a man down like this really just killed any momentum for InFamouS had been picking up, and they're getting isolated on that A flag with Lagzer now being the guy kind of harassing it. And what can you do at this point? 5v4, you've got to be as aggressive as you can. Not really think about the fact that you're all behind a guy here, but I think ESC are going to take an A flag here, and they're really just stuck in the middle of the map now, not sure what to do.
Yeah, that's the problem at the moment. ESC moving over to take that A flag, and the trouble is right now Zuzu is having a few problems trying to get into that C point, at least alive, and you can see he's now in a relatively safer position, so he can deal with any pushing coming in. Explo gets taken down on the stairwell, and now this is a strong position here for Zuzu if he can actually assist on that one. And the trouble is you can see 2 members of InFamouS, Tony there as well, looking to hit those guys underneath, on the legs, underneath that machinery, and they will then start to push in towards that point, and there we go, they're going to be getting that point back. And the trouble is, look, there's a 3-man push coming in from ESC ICY to the C point. This is going to be a gunfight and a half, dog, but
it will indeed, and this is the last chance really for InFamouS to make an impact here. They need to, Grimjoe need to get a hold of that. See, he gets taken down, man. This is just really bad. They finally got a 5-man team in here. They need to get on this C flag as quick as possible, but just look on the minimap at how ESC guys are here. They are ready to defend this flag, and InFamouS are just getting cut to pieces right now. They need to break in as quick as possible, otherwise this is not going to go well for them at all.
Yeah, pretty bad, pretty bad. It's looking pretty rough right now for the members of InFamouS, and you can see them starting to push in as you've got Doobie working together with his teammate around the C point, looking for important picks, and there we go, another mine comes bound, and he gets finished off as well, but literally the resulting gunfire takes people down very quickly, and it looks like a complete wipe there of ESC ICY at the C point. This could be an opportunity maybe for InFamouS, but we'll have to wait and see. They're going to be trying to capture that C point at the same time as Baden.
That's the thing. This is ESC. Every time they have been wiped on a flag, they are already pushing somewhere else. They might have lost out on that at A, but they're keeping the bleed going, and that's all you got to do when you're that far ahead.
Indeed. So, let's find out what's going on. So you've got Tony, who's in at the A. He's going to be trying to capture that as quickly as possible. But the trouble is now you've got Zepp, who died at the C point. You're going to have Kremer start to push down towards the C. And this is where it's going to be a problem, because they've got a 3-man push going into that area. And there we go, another member of InFamouS being taken down. And the B point is going to be captured by Zuzu and team. But you can see the nades coming into these guys, literally coming in from all over the place. And this is really rough right now. And it looks like the members of InFamouS are going to have to start to push away from that A point and down towards the C. But they've got to be careful, because they're going to get caught out in the open. And this is where it's going to be very dangerous for them. And that's pretty much what happened. And you can see the last few tickets starting to disappear with a score of 68, I would say, to about 0 is what we're going to look at the end of that, Dogbert.
Yeah, 68 tickets. Obviously, a crash for InFamouS midway through that game really didn't help, but I must admit, I think ESC were kind of had a better handle of that game anyway. Maybe they would have lost with a few tickets, but really, I feel that ESC were kind of dominating that game anyway. InFamouS had a strong start, but from then on out, it really went downhill. Jansen doing a great job, 18 for 11 for him, really being a good harasser at the beginning of the game, and Lagzer and Doobie picking up some very important kills early and mid, and really just solidified that win. So 68 tickets, that is their map that they pick, so you would kind of expect them to come out strong, but when you're talking about 150 ticket rounds, man, that's a good one. That's really good.
It is indeed, and we just have to wait and see how InFamouS managed to deal with it on the next round. So we should be moving on to round number 2 on Zavod 311. Bear in mind, this is a best of 3, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, like you said, the loss of their teammate really did not help them. That's one thing that you suffer from pretty badly when it comes to Battlefield 4, is the loss of a teammate when you're playing.
Yeah, if anything, it's a mental problem. It really gets into your team's morale and just starts messing with it a bit. You know you're down a guy, you know that some flags or some positions might be open, especially if they're a player who hangs around in certain places, which you do get. So, yeah, definitely not what they wanted. To go through to the next round, and man, it would be nasty for them if their team they 2-0'd last time. If they were to lose to them this week, man, they would feel like a regression, if anything.
Yeah.
So have a look at what the break is. It's going to be InFamouS playing down as the US side. Obviously, checking to see if there's any rocket launchers in play. None at all. So it's going to be pretty standard here. Assaults all across the board, not a single engineer. And let's look at this break chart. Right now it's pretty standard though. Once again, ESC only sending 2 out to B, leaving more around the center of the map. Lags are there, Jansen, but man, I feel like InFamouS are going to just take this B flag once again.
Yeah, it's looking that way, and it looks pretty secure for them as far as they can see. So you've obviously got InFamouS Zepp in there, as long as they're going to be running up against Doobie. So it's a 2-man on 2-man right now. So you've got Baden, and Zepp gets taken down by Baden, and there we go. That's a 2-man wipe there at that B point. And as a result of that, this is a really nasty situation. You've got Grimjow, who's literally the last man defending the C point. He's about to have a very bad day, but he gets Jansen with a nice shot. More nades going out, and support is on its way. So you can see now. Sorry, Dogbert.
Now, around the top of the map, you've had Zozo and Explo kind of like playing a game of hide and seek, waiting it out. Eventually, though, blowing up a wall and taking them out. But that's been a slow push on that A flag for a long, long time. But it's only slowly gone InFamouS's way. But finally, getting some traction. But with that C and A, they need to get B at some point. That A flag is notoriously difficult to hold. But, yeah, quite a good reversal for them. And definitely what they need, considering they're, 50 tickets behind? 60 or so.
68 tickets in total. So you can see Lags are moving in towards the C point. You can see he's been taken down. Baden's also been taken down. So this is looking pretty good for them, and the question is whether or not they can actually hold that. But you can now see ESC lags are starting to move in towards the A point, which basically means that Tony's going to have to start moving up, but unfortunately he got side raged there by Doobie, so Doobie moving in, clearing him up very quickly indeed. But you can see a two-man push coming in from InFamouS, and you can see them starting to push in towards that point. It looks like lags has been finished off, and this could be an opportunity to get the A point back under their ownership. The trouble is it means that the two guys who are currently defending the C point are about to have a world of trouble, as a large amount of pushing coming in from the likes of Lagza, with a huge amount of grenade parties occurring, as you can see. So you can see pretty much a push coming in here, and they're going to try and take that back as quickly as they can, but it looks like they've had more spawns from the InFamouS guys onto that point, and pretty much it looks like Tony's going to be the last man left standing. He takes down his final man, and it looks like he's going to be getting everybody back up and running quickly as possible. At the same time as InFamouS, Kremer moves over to the B point to take it, as the A point starts being taken by ESC Icybox Doobie.
Yeah, that capture from Kramer really, really important. And more importantly here, Tony getting some kills up her A. This is going to be a possible domination cap. ESC need to be really, really careful here. They might have a lead from the previous round, but they cannot allow InFamouS to get this many full dominations. This is the second one they've had so far, and right now they're just pushing away with this lead, and the only chance they have, really, they'll get A back, that's not a problem, but those spawns are going to come in at C, and there you go, 2 already, probably 3 coming in soon, and that's going to be a hard defense to break.
It is indeed. It is indeed. So now you can see here Baden sniffing around, looking for an opportunity to push in, and you can see also the likes of Lagza with a little bit of a fail nade as he tries to push in, managing to get a little bit of hip fire onto his enemies, and Zuzu also being finished off as well. So it looks like the C point has now been liberated, but at the same time as Tony moving over very, very quickly indeed, and a 3-man spawn on that point. Oh, this could be horror. This could be very nasty here for the members of InFamouS, as they're now coming under fire, and that's a 4-man wipe at the A point. That's serious for the members of InFamouS right now. But unfortunately, Kremer, last man standing, and that was pretty much a total wipe there, Dogbert.
Yeah, and it's forced those spawns really, really far north, and Lags are probably going to take this B flag, and it'll probably be him against Zep, but that was brutal, and that's the danger of spawning on top of a teammate. If they're already in a firefight, you jump into a fight, and you have no idea where those shots are coming from, and more often than not, you're basically just going to be murdered where you're standing, and this is just not looking good for ESC. I mean, they've got such a ticket lead from the previous round, that's pretty much what they need, but InFamouS have been doing quite a good job overall in this game.
Yeah, and you can see there's Zep being taken down at the B point. We're moving in with Explo at the moment. He's the guy who's defending the B point, and it's looking pretty good as far as they're concerned. So let's just see what's going on. As you can see, it looks like a trade occurred outside the A point, and let's follow Kremer in as he pushes in towards the B point. So he's got his I think he's got the M16 or the M416. Yeah, it looks like he's got the M16A4. So a little bit of triple shot accuracy. Lovely stuff indeed. Out come the nades as they are pushing in towards that B point. You can see him checking to see the corners, and what looks like he's lost one of his teammates already, and then gets surprised by one of the guys on top of the tank. So unfortunately that push is not going to be good. Now the trouble is Grimjow is going to have a problem, because behind them is Baden, and Baden is actually moving in, and he's going for the domination cap, Dogbert.
Yeah, and that's why the A flag is so difficult to hold. The spawns above that flag are so regular, hence why you always try and get that B and C whenever you can. And right now, ESC are just playing Battlefield. They're playing the cap game. They are avoiding getting into just a meat grinder of fighting here, and just trying to keep that bleed constantly ticking over. There's no need to try and hunt kills. You don't need to. You just got to keep that ticket bleed going, and as soon as they hit that magic number, they will progress to the second map.
Indeed they will. Indeed they will. So you've also got the likes of Doobie sniffing around, looking for an opportunity, getting into a standout gunfight. Oh, that's so unfortunate, literally, as right in the middle of a gunfight with his opposing number on 25 health, somebody spawns behind him and then kills him. So poor old Doobie. Never mind. As you can see here, Zepp now starting to push towards the B point, and you can see it looks like that was interesting. I think he was in with the G36C. Now that's a weapon we've never seen in competition. Probably now being seen in competition as a result of the recent buffs that have occurred on the latest patch for Battlefield 4. And it looks like everybody's getting caught up in this massive tunnel fight going on right now between the members of InFamouS and those members of ESC ICY. And look at that. Holy crap, there's a massive amounts of fire going on around there, and that's really nasty now as a result. So ESC have actually taken that, and QPAD are pretty much wiped out completely. This is not looking good for them.
Yeah, well, that's game over. They were already GGing and pretty much waiting for the next map as, ESC really just very dominant on this map. First round is pretty much what did the damage for InFamouS. Obviously, playing 4v5 really didn't help, but ESC were already far ahead at that point, and yeah, it looks like we're moving on. Trying to remember exactly what the next map was. It will be Lankan Dam, yes. So that will be it, and a map which I must admit, because I've seen Dignitas lose out so many times on it, is easily one of my most disliked maps in the entire of competitive BF4, as it is just one. It seems to really go down to a 2-flag hold, which basically just keeps on going forever and ever and ever. And ever. So you're going to see on this map when we load it up, especially, it's going to be all about that B flag. And we talk about B on Dawnbreaker and maybe on Shanghai, but never in any other game does Dam have such significance for the B flag. Sorry, B is basically it. They need it right off the bat. Both teams can get in there at the same time, and it will be a back and forth. But seriously, I have seen teams win with something like 180, 190 by just holding a 2-flag hold. It's crazy. This map, man, I'm just not a fan.
Yeah, that's always, it's like you're saying, it's that lobby, it's that central area on this particular map that tends to be the massive fight that everything occurs over, because obviously the spawns nearby, you've got your immediate gimme nearest, and it's just a matter of who gets it first. And like you're saying, it tends to be literally the battle over that B point, and that's what we're going to be seeing again today. So let's just make sure that everything is ready to go, and we shall get into the server now, and we shall be bringing you the next part of InFamouS versus ESC ICY on Lankan Dam. So you can see here, obviously, let's fly around. Here is the spawn of the Chinese. You have the Russian spawn over the other side, and this is, you're seeing some RPGs being used already. So here is the gimme for the Russians, here is the gimme for the Chinese, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is the lobby, which is where most of the action will occur. So let's see what's going to happen, because at the moment ESC ICY are winning by 1 map to 0. So right now this will be InFamouS fighting for survival and to stay in the competition, Dogbit.
Yeah, well, they've already made sure that they weren't going to get 2-0'd like they were last week, so this would at least go to a 3rd map if InFamouS can rally here. But definitely what ESC needed, get a bit of confidence back against this French team, realizing it, last week these guys 2-0'd us and took us out completely. We need to come back big, and they've definitely done that in that last map. They did really, really well. Solid rotations, beautiful battlefield, got those flags, kept that bleed, and really won out. And it'll be interesting to see how they'll work on this map, because I really feel that Lankan Dam is a very hostile map to like solid map like squad rotations on flags. It's really much positional warfare, keeping that B and whichever other flag you want, A or C. But I feel that C and B generally favours quite good, but I mean the spawns around this flag are just really not nice because they're so far away from every flag. So you got that A or C building and you can basically spot every single spawn behind you, and those, then the spots come in, and not far behind it generally comes the kills. So we'll have to see how these teams factor that into their tactics, but seriously, I expect a 2-man hold pretty much predominantly for this game, with maybe every so often a sneaky free cap coming in whenever a team becomes desperate and has to throw everything into an all-out offensive.
So we should be underway. any second now. And what do you think the rollout's going to be on this one, Dogbert? I mean, because obviously it varies according to each map. Do you think it's going to be first one to the B will win?
No, not really. Not always the first one into the B flag wins. I think that fight generally for B, it drags on quite a bit. You'll see guys heading out to the middle of the map generally, trying to sneak behind either A or C. I think you'll probably see from ESC one guy holding that A and 4 going into B, but sometimes, like I said, one guy coming through the mid just trying to harass and doing what he can. But just look at InFamouS right now. Not even a single person going for any harass. They're just going all in for a push. You can see, I think it was Explo or Baden. It was Baden actually trying to get some sneaky damage in there, but 2-man dead already. Zep goes down, and this is a brilliant start for ESC and definitely what they needed. They have the B straight off the bat and a 3-man kill to boot.
Indeed, and you can see now a lot of fire coming out from the lobby towards the outside area, and the trouble is now that you have for the members of InFamouS is that they are essentially forced out into the outskirts of this area, and they've got to get in, and there's only a certain amount of choke points. And there we go, a quick run in going in a second. As you can see, these guys, Tony coming in as well and starting to push in towards the area, but you can see the fire coming in from that area and from the other side of the lobby as well, and this is where it's going to be a problem. So Doobie's then starting to move over, get up towards that area, push in towards the research area, which is going to be the main spawn of the enemy. As you can see here, moving down towards the projector, and Doobie being finished off through the glass. And this is a knotty situation for them. As you can see, pretty much most of the battles going on over the C point. As you can see here, it looks like the C point is trying to be attacked quite significantly, and a total wipeout almost. As Tony manages to survive, and he's playing Ring a Ring of Roses around the desks with members of the ESC Icy Box team. So, C being held, I should say, by InFamouS, but you can see Explo, and it looks like Jansen as well, in the process of trying to defend that point. Whoops-a-daisy, that wasn't the greatest nade in the world, but never mind.
Jansen really doesn't know how to throw his nades, apparently, but he knows how to shoot people, which is a good sign. But, yeah, that push was really bad for him. It didn't go very well at B, and right now, that bleed, look at it already. 100 tickets, pretty much, for InFamouS against 143 for ESC. Just solid defense right now, but you can see over there, Tony, once again, sneaking around A, but they're being shut down at B hard.
That's exactly what's happening, and the trouble is, as you can see, not only are they being shut down, but they're actually being corralled. They're actually being forced into a fixed area, and this is going to be the problem, because then essentially it's going to be a massive killing zone for them. And as a result of that, you can see Zuzu going to be waiting for an opportunity for his teammates to respawn. He doesn't really want to move in unsupported. And you can see as we move over towards the laboratory over at A, you can see these guys, you can see the little Doritos inside, and you can see members of them coming up the stairwell. And as you can see, as you fly through the window here, we're looking at Explo in the process of defending that push coming in. Kremer gets taken down in the stairwell, and the defence of the laboratory is continuing. But pretty much most of the battle is going on, as we suspected, at the lobby, Dogbert.
Yeah, it's just Grimjow left on the map right now, and that's a trip cap, and that's what I said was going to happen. As soon as one team starts to get desperate and having to push hard, they'll find themselves in this situation, and man, they're getting picked off hard at B. They need someone to come in and just do something remarkable right now, because, to be honest, ESC are just taking them apart whenever they push through, and they had 2 failed pushes right at the beginning at B, and they were quite early on ones, and they were the ones that had the greatest chance of success. And from then on out, ESC have just been absolutely dominant in defence right now.
So we're following Doobie as he's making his way up. Let's see what he goes on. As he's starting to make his way up towards the C, he starts to get onto the bleed. He's looking for his enemy. He knows he's going to be there because there's going to be a single man defending. Out come the nades. Oh, that's an incendiary grenade. That's something we don't see that often. So it's going to be interesting. Oh, and Doobie got taken roughly from behind. Very nasty indeed. And that was very brutal on poor old Doobie. And as a result of that, it means that InFamouS can get in there and get that flag back very quickly. But look at them. They're working really hard on the A point as well to try and get that point back, get the bleed against their enemy, and get those 138 tickets out of the way as quickly as possible, Dogbert.
Yeah, beautiful attack by Kremer and Zep over on A flag, attacking from the stairwell and using the window to break through in the attack. all that was brilliant, but the problem was Grimjow just couldn't hold that C flag and eventually went down after a 2-on-3 there, and straight back to square one. And oh my god, that is absolutely brilliant. Doobie coming up behind, getting 2 kills today, and that's a trip cap. And I honestly do not see how InFamouS can respond. At best right now, they can get a flag and maybe get a cap back, but right now, ESC are just absolutely dominating InFamouS and making sure they're getting plenty of revenge, and most of all getting it aired on ESL TV as well.
Absolutely, yeah, that's pretty much the case at the moment. And you can see, let's find out what Kremis is doing. Kremis is taking a huge amount of fire, and yeah, this is ESC Icy Box at their most brutal. They are literally, like you're saying, shutting down every opportunity for InFamouS to move in to that point, and literally 90% of their work has been done by those pushes in towards the B point, and the last few tickets will be disappearing, and that's 132 tickets to 0, Dogbert. That is literally, wow, that's like, what is it, 18 tickets lost?
Yeah, they've not lost much at all. It's just an absolutely brilliant play from ESC, and you know what? Welcome to Lankandam, everyone. The team that gets the original 2 cap can basically just win like that, and it's absolutely brutal. So, yeah, 132 tickets. And I want to pick out Doobie in that game. Obviously, everyone's pretty much... You don't get large amount of kills in this game, but Doobie managed to get a good few and really, really helped get that trip cap and keep that bleed going. And, man... what can you say? 132 tickets. That's dominating, and this is revenge as cold as you can serve it, really.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty brutal. It is pretty brutal. But we'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, I'm thinking, you know, with only 18 tickets in the next half, it's going to be over very quickly. And ESC will obviously want to end it as quickly as they possibly can so they can move on to the next match. So... let's just wait and see. We are waiting to get in there and have some fun, so to speak. So, yeah, Lankang Dam, like you said, this is the kind of problem that you always have with Lankang Dam is that hold that can be literally absolutely brutal. That A and the B or the B and the C and stuff like that. But like you're saying, you can hold it, but what is really telling is how good your defensive B is.
Yeah, it all comes down to B, and that's just this map just generally it's just that 2 cap hold, and that A-B one does seem to be just so much better at times. I don't know why. I think it's just positioning, but it's a...
Oh, he's silencing himself again.
Quiet now? Or what?
No, we can hear you now. We can hear you now.
Yeah, my PC just went really weird there. I do not know what happened. Either way, InFamouS can win this game. They just have to get that initial A-B hold and threaten full domination caps every time ESC get lazy. And it's possible. We've seen some amazing scores on this map before, but it all comes down to one thing. Can InFamouS win this B fight straight off the bat?
Yeah, and that's what we're going to be watching as we're looking at Zep making his way through to the security office. And the thing is that you're seeing here, there we go, one Lagzer being taken down very quickly, and now they're going to be starting to move in towards that point. So you can see here, InFamouS Zuzu moving through, and they're starting to push in towards the C point. But I don't think... Look at the spawns coming in for ESC right now. And you can see now that they've got the A and the B hold, but... what I don't understand is why are InFamouS not pushing in towards the C? Probably as a result of the 3 men that just spawned there. But this is going to be an interesting situation to see if they can actually hold this B point. And Explo now moving round, looking down for those very important places. And it looks like he managed to trade with Zuzu. So now, as a result of that, ESC Jansen moving in towards that point. And it looks like Kremza and Tony have also been taken down. Down goes Grimjow. And I think what's really hurting them, Dogbert, is they're just not winning these 1v1s that they're having with ESC Icy Box. And look at that kill feed. It's Jansen, Lagzer, Doobie, and every single one of those has been a dead member of InFamouS. That's almost a complete wipe on the team, Dogbert.
That's GG. That is possibly one of the quickest games of BF4 I've ever had to cast, and that's what happens on Lankan Dam when you cannot break that B early on. And ESC have just got the revenge for last week's Cup, where they absolutely lost 2-0, but this week they 2-0 InFamouS, and in brutal fashion. And more importantly, InFamouS picked this map, and they just got absolutely manhandled on it.
Indeed they did. Indeed they did. So, yeah, as it's gone below the magic 132, it's pretty much all over, ladies and gentlemen. So we shall be moving on to another match very shortly, and we shall be bringing you yet more Battlefield. So stay tuned. We should just clarify as to what the plan is for the next part, and we shall be right back. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the ESL 1, and this is Chadman and Dogbut bringing you all the Battlefield 4 action from this evening. We shall return very shortly.